guard came in, carrying something made out of wire, a box or basket of some kind. He set it down on the further table. Because of the position in which O'Brien was standing, Winston could not see what it was. "The worst thing in the world," said O'Brien, "varies from individual to individual. It may be burial alive, or death, or by fire, by drowning, or by impalement, or 50 other deaths. There are cases where it is some quite trivial thing, not even fatal." He had moved a little to one side so that Winston had a better view of the thing on the table. It was an oblong wire cage with a handle on top for carrying it by. Fixed at the front of it was something that looked like a fencing mask. With the concave side outwards, although it was 3 or 4 meters away from him, he could see that the cage was divided lengthwise into 2 compartments, and that there was some kind of creature in each. There were rats. The mask-like attachment in front of him suddenly sank into him. His bowels seemed to turn into water. "You can't do that," he cried out in a high, cracked voice. "You couldn't! You couldn't! It's impossible!" "Do you remember," said O'Brien, "the moment of panic that used to occur in your dreams? There was a wall of blackness in front of you, and a roaring sound in your ears. There was something terrible on the other side of the wall. You knew that you knew what it was, but you dared not drag into the open. It was the rats on the other side of the wall." "O'Brien," said Winston, making an effort to control his voice, "you know this is not necessary. What is it that you want me to do?" "By itself," he said, "pain is not always enough. There are occasions when a human being will stand out against pain, even to the point of death. But for everyone there is something unendurable, something that cannot be contemplated." "The rat," said O'Brien, still addressing his invisible audience, "although a rodent, is carnivorous. You are aware of that. You will have heard of some things that will happen in the poor quarter of this town. In some streets a woman not dare leave her baby alone in the house even for 5 minutes. The rats are certain to attack it. Within quite a small time they will strip it to the bones. They also attack sick or dying people. They show astonishing intelligence in knowing when a human being is helpless. These starving brutes will shoot out of the air like bullets. Have you ever seen a rat leap through the air? They will leap on your face and bore straight into it. Sometimes they attack through the eyes first, sometimes they burrow through the cheeks and devour the tongue." There was a violent convulsion of nausea inside of him, and he had almost lost consciousness. Everything had gone black. For an instant he was insane, a screaming animal, yet he came out of the blackness clutching an idea. There had to be one way to save himself. He must interpose another human being, the body of another human being, between him and the rats. "It was a common punishment in Imperial China," said O'Brien as didactically as ever. The mask was closing on his face, the wire brushed his cheek, and then no, it was not relief, only hope, a tiny fragment of hope. He was shouting frantically over and over, "Do it to Julia! Do it to Julia! Not me! Julia! I don't care what you do to her! Tear her face off! Strip her to the bones! Not me! Julia! Not me!" He was falling backwards into enormous depths, away from the rats. He was still strapped in the chair, but he had fallen through the floor, through the walls of the building, through the earth, through the oceans, through the atmosphere, and the outer space, into the gulfs between the stars, always away, away, away from the rats.